Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What is up, you guys? Happy Monday to you all. I hope it was as quick and painless as it possibly could have been for you. Who likes Mondays? I know I don't, but luckily we were gifted a nice bounce back win from the New York Mets tonight as they began their long, arduous road trip in St. Louis, taking on the Cardinals, a team that is in full rebuild mode, but a team that, really showed out this past weekend against Tampa Bay in their home opener. Scored 22 runs despite having the second youngest active roster in Major League Baseball. Have a pretty impressive little group of young guys, but that's exactly what they are. Young guys that are still trying to find their way in the major leagues. And this is a series that the Mets absolutely should, at a very minimum, win 2 out of 3, if not take all 3 of these games and get the sweep. And they get off on the right foot tonight as Clay Holmes towed the rubber for them. He delivers 5 2/3 really strong innings, gives up 2 runs along the way. The Mets able to scratch in the first inning, strike first. Francisco Lindor, back-to-back games with triples, including leading this game off. He comes home on a fielder's choice off the bat of Bo Bichette, who would later deliver an RBI single, so maybe he's quelling some of those runner in scoring position and base hit opportunities, putting those away after that first weekend of the season where everybody was already losing their mind about him. But the Mets end up putting up just enough offense in this game. They score 4 runs in this one. They scatter a couple more throughout this one, and the bullpen, absolute nails in this one once again, as after Clay Holmes, they hand the ball off to Tobias Myers, who remains perfect so far this year. He follows with 1 2/3 scoreless innings. An inning and a third of scoreless relief work. They hand the ball to Brooks Raley, who does what Brooks Raley does, and that is go 1 2 3 in the 8th inning. And then the ball off to Devin Williams for his first save. And if there was any other question about Bo Bichette and some of the other new players, I don't know if anyone was as big and as loud as what Devin Williams was going to be replacing Edwin Diaz as the closer. And, well, it's only one, but he gets off on the right foot as well as he goes 1 2 3, including the punctuation mark on this game with a strikeout of Jordan Walker to end it, put it in the books. The Mets get the W and move to 3-1 on the season. What is up, guys? I'm Tony Metro. Welcome to the stream. You guys know the deal. Daily Mets content here on my channel. Post-game streams after every single Mets game. Be sure to hit that like button. Really appreciate that. Go ahead and do that right now. And if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button as well. This is your place for the latest news and recaps, rumors, everything, opinions on the New York Mets. And you can follow me on the other platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Links to all of those are in the description of this video down below. Hey, it's a nice win today. I mean, look, not the flashiest win. The way the Mets scored their 4 runs weren't the sexiest. I have to eat a little bit of crow here. I tweeted after seeing the lineup this afternoon that I couldn't believe Jared Young was in it, but he comes through with maybe the most well-struck ball of the evening for the Mets, a double into the right center field gap in, I believe it was the 6th inning, to bring home Brett Beatty and score the Mets' 3rd run of the evening. So, hey, I eat my crow. I'll admit when I'm wrong. Jared Young, he came through tonight. Looked fine at first base, so I give him credit where it is due. I don't want to see that too often, but for at least one evening, I will give credit to Jared Young. Let's go to the chat. Daniel Weiss, you have a job outside of this? I do. Ray, Tony, good game. Raley, Myers, Williams, BP, Clinic. I mean, that's how you draw it up, right? Like, that's what you want it to be. Go to those arms. That's probably, in my opinion, the 3 guys I trust the most in this bullpen, along with Luke Weaver. We knew he wouldn't be available tonight because he pitched in back-to-back games Saturday and on Sunday. But, if you're going down the totem pole of trust, the circle of trust, to quote, Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, pick your choice from that trio of movies, I would definitely have it as Williams, Raley, Tobias Myers, and then Luke Weaver somewhere in the middle of that as well. Those are my 4 most trusted relievers out of this Mets bullpen. And this is the formula to getting that, to getting wins. Daniel Weiss says Myers sneaky good add-on in the trade. I mean, dude, I was as hyped about seeing Myers' name in the trade as I was about getting Freddie Peralta himself. I mean, obviously not. Freddie Peralta is probably going to be a of more importance to the Mets World Series aspirations, right? You need Freddie Peralta to be an ace or a top of the rotation arm if you have any chance of going on a deep October playoff run. But when I saw Tobias Myers and I saw his body of work and I remembered him pitching in that Game 3 of the wild card series against the Mets in 2024, I was like, I like this. Plus multiple years of control. He has been absolutely filthy. An inning, a third, 3 strikeouts on 14 pitches. Pretty much picked up right where he left off on Thursday's opening day, where he gave you 3 innings, gave up a home run in that one. That's the only blemish on his ledger so far. So really, really nice to see. Ray and Clay, steady Freddie. Yeah, hey, I like the expression steady Eddie, but you know what? We'll go steady Freddie for Clay Holmes. Yeah, look, I said this yesterday in the postgame, and I've said it all off season. That's all you need out of Clay Holmes. You hope Nolan McLean and Freddie Peralta pitch like the top 2 guys in the rotation that they are supposed to pitch like. And then you just need Clay Holmes to give you what he gave you last year. And that was 30 starts with a 3.5, 3.6 ERA. Go out there, give you 6 innings almost every single time, and give your team an opportunity to win. And he absolutely did that tonight. Gives up the run immediately in the first. He had the balk there. It was looking like, oh boy, this could be rough. He ended up throwing 25 pitches in the first inning, 60 through the first 3 innings of this game. And I was concerned about how deep he might be able to go, but he really settled in, had a 13-pitch second inning, did have a 22-pitch third inning, but then came back with a 10-pitch fourth inning, allowing him to go out for the 5th. And he did complete the 5th, obviously. And then in the 6th with 2 outs, after striking out Alec Burleson and Mason Wynn, it was Nolan Gorman with that monster home run with 2 outs. And that was the end of the line for him. Holmes actually ends up pitching 90 pitches, which is kind of a surprise to me that the Mets would even let him go that far here on the first game of the season, his first start. But, you know, I guess he was stretched out enough, well enough with the World Baseball Classic and his time at Mets camp in Port St. Lucie. So you're not going to hear any complaints from me. 57 of his 90 pitches were thrown for strikes. Command was up and down, but I thought for the most part, it was pretty solid. He was really bending in that curveball today. The kick change looked good. So really, really pleased with what we got out of Clay Holmes today. Final line on Clay Holmes. Let me take a look at it. 5 2/3, gives up the 2 runs on 4 hits. He also issues 3 walks, but has 5 strikeouts as well. So really, really nice performance from Clay Holmes without a doubt. Let's see. Ray, Tony, Bo is being Bo. Nice. Yeah, look, hey, not going to hear a lot of complaining about Bo Bichette tonight. Look, could he have done a little bit more? Absolutely. But that first inning, able to get the run in. Look, the ball kind of gets stuck in Weatherholt's glove there, so maybe there was going to be a chance for him to throw out Lindor and have deja vu of yesterday all over again, but them's the breaks sometimes. So he gets credited with the sack RBI, fielder's choice there. He comes back up there in the 3rd inning, another opportunity to put up a run. Comes up in the 3rd inning, gets, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Excuse me, comes back up in the 5th inning and is able to bring home a run with an RBI single into right field. Nearly falls down as he's hitting that pitch the other way. And then he gets another opportunity there in, I believe it was the 8th inning with the bases loaded, and unfortunately did ground out to 3rd base. So look, could he have done more? Yes, absolutely. And you could even hear him say it in his post-game comments to Steve Gelbs on the field. Still working on things. I'm still working on things. So look, we got a little bit of glimmer here from Bichette. He's going to turn into the Bo Bichette that we expected that we were getting when we signed him to that contract this offseason. So nice to see from him. There's really no standouts from the lineup today, unfortunately. It's kind of been 3 very ho-hum kind of games from this lineup. There's nobody that's really truly stood out. Nice to see Jorge Polanco though come up with 2 hits in this one. We heard about the Achilles aggravation that he's having. I don't know if that's a tendonitis thing or what it is, but that's why he's DH'd the last 2 days, but still comes through with a double down the right field line and then a base hit later in this one. So that was good to see for sure. You got 2 hits out of Carson Bench. Very nearly could have been 3 if they weren't shading him up the middle defensively one of those at-bats. But overall, no one really truly stands out to me in this lineup tonight. But like I said, got to give a little bit of credit to Jared Young, who I did not want to see in there, but still comes through with the RBI double to pad the lead. Ray says Myers is the anchor of the pen. I mean, right now he is like going up the totem pole in the circle of trust for me, without a doubt. Myers has looked fantastic so far. Seems like a guy you can pretty much put in at any point in any game, in any situation, and you're going to feel really comfortable about him either getting a big out for you or giving you length. And that's pretty much what he has done so far now in his first 2 appearances as a New York Met. Daniel Weiss, Myers, sneaky good add-on in the trade. I already had you there. Sorry, bud. Let's see. BP Arms, having healthy competition, says Ray. Yeah, look, this bullpen is not the bullpen we're going to finish the year with. I think we all know that. First of all, AJ Minter is hopefully coming back. We heard it's going to be May, but this is a guy that is on the wrong side of 30 now, that last year had the torn lat muscle. The year before that was dealing with the hip issues. That kept him from starting last year on the opening day roster. So I'm hopeful that Minter is going to come back. I am not absolutely relying on him to come back and be a big part of this bullpen. But we've heard about all the young names as well. Dylan Ross, who we know has had a little bit of an injury thing down there in AA or AAA, wherever he was assigned to. Same for Ryan Lambert, who we saw absolutely just dominant balls to the wall, 100+ mile per hour fastball, just has some psycho tendencies, potential future closer. So those are just 2 internal names, and there's probably at least 2 more that I suspect we could see and actually be impactful guys. So this won't be the bullpen we finish the year with, but right now it's looking really strong to start the year. Enrique Garcia says, what up, Tony? Great start for the road. Absolutely. Nice to get the, bad taste out of our mouth of that loss from yesterday. It wasn't like a bad loss in the sense that, they played poorly or anything, but the way it ended, of course, with having the potential tying run cut down with nobody out yesterday and losing that one in extras. Nice to just get on the road here, quiet some of the noise about the Bo Bichette stuff that some of the crazy fans are talking, and then just get a W here against, again, a team that is very young in the Cardinals that are in rebuilding mode. That, yeah, they put up 22 runs in their series with the Rays this weekend, but there's no reason why the Mets should not at a minimum win 2 out of 3, but realistically, I'd like to see them get the sweep here. Jimmy James C, I missed most of the game, but it was nice to see Devin Williams get his first save. He looked good. Absolutely. Devin Williams looked awesome. Gets the first 2 batters to pop up, one to third base, next one to first base, and then getting the strikeout, like I said, to put the punctuation mark on things. Look, it's only 1 save. It's only 1 appearance. We know we saw him on Saturday, and he wiggled out of a little bit of trouble that he created for himself, but so far so good with Devin Williams. We haven't seen him, issuing tons of walks. Yeah, I know he issued 1 on Saturday, but that was a big issue for him in the Bronx last year. So happy to see Devin Williams has been able to find the strike zone, look comfortable, and got the job done here tonight, as you can see on the camera right here. So love to see it. Ray says, Tony and Wardy always have post-game shows. Commendable. Hey, I try, man. I met Wardy at spring training. Great guy. Nothing but love to him. He seems like a really good dude, and I know he's killing it over there. So I appreciate you guys tuning in here, though, and checking me out. Ray, and if Weaver is 2024 form a weapon. Yeah, so Luke Weaver had some good years with the Yankees. Last year was up and down, got put into Devin Williams' closer role, and then ended up losing it again at some point. So, let's see what these guys do. I mean, we're looking for bounce backs out of both of them. If there's any position that you can kind of expect or realistically hope for a bounce back for in Major League Baseball, it's relievers, because of how year to year they are, because of how finicky they just seem to be. So I had good high hopes for both of those guys when the Mets signed them. And again, small sample size, but so far so good from both of those dudes. So really nice to see the back end of this bullpen coming together. Ray, another game of manufactured runs, great sign. Small ball is big ball. And look, it was 80 degrees out in St. Louis tonight, so it's not like it was a cold weather issue or anything. But these guys are still a little behind. We know that hitters are usually a step or 2 behind pitchers when they start the season. Just wait until this lineup is really firing on all cylinders. I mean, we've seen some pretty professional at-bats for these, first 4 games of the season here. A little better on opening day than what we saw the last 2 games in Pittsburgh. I thought today was okay, not great, but I'd put it right in the middle of it all. And I think once these guys are really, truly, going on all cylinders, this is going to be a very dynamic lineup that has power, pop, speed, that can draw walks, that can do a little bit of all and put the ball in play when necessary. So I'm excited to see what happens next. Biscuits Chooch, Tony the Legend, LGM. I sip for Benj. Well, hey, I got Benj on the little graphic down here. He had 2 hits in this one, so love to see Benj get up there, get a couple base knocks today. Like I said yesterday, he had started 1 for 10, that 1 hit only being the first career home run that he had on opening day. He went 0 for 9 or hitless in his next 9 at-bats the rest of the way in that Pirates series, but today coming out, hits in, I believe, his first 2 at-bats. So that was really nice to see. And like I said, in the 8th inning, had an opportunity almost to go 3 for 3, but they were shading him up the middle. So it ended up being a 6-3 putout. But Benj is by no means look overmatched whatsoever. I think that would now put him at what? 3 for 13 on the season. So, I mean, very nearly 250, right? I mean, look, a shade under. Okay. Like, look, he has not looked overmatched whatsoever, and they are giving him the full reins. I mean, this was supposedly a rest day for Luis Robert, which I'm kind of not so sure about anymore, because he ends up coming into this game and pinch running in the 7th inning or 8th inning there for Jared Young. He shifts out to center field, plays the top or the bottom half of the 9th defensively for the Mets. So I don't know if it was a true rest day. I find that a little puzzling. We also heard that Leahy, the right-hander for the Cardinals, had reverse splits or I guess lefties do much better, more damage against him. And so that was maybe the reason they wanted to get Jared Young's bat in this lineup. I mean, they proved to be right with him getting the RBI double in this game, right? But overall, it was a little bit of a head-scratching lineup when I first saw it, but I don't even know where I was going with this. Benj getting the reins in the outfield, whether it's in right field where he started the first 3 games of this year, or tonight getting the start in center field. It is clear they believe this dude is ready for the big leagues and needs to get everyday at bats and continue to get more seasoning here in the big leagues. He has started all 4 games, and I am really excited about what we've seen out of him so far. Danny Caps Myers, 14 pitches. Devin Williams, 12 pitches. That is how you shut the door. That was a nice little refresher. I mean, I love Clay Holmes, but we know Holmes has a tendency to go deep into counts. So he really kind of made me wear it for a while there and, sweat it out. So it was nice to see the relievers come in and just pretty much make quick work of the Cardinals there for the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And then obviously part of the 6th when Myers took over. Really good job from all of them. Let's see. Who do we got here? True Mets Talk. What's up, my man? Great win. Absolutely. Good to see you, CP. Appreciate you being in here, my man. Yes, great win. Like I said, not a flashy win by any means, but a necessary win. It's not like if they had lost this one and fell to 2-2, that the world was going to be on fire, that everything was going to start falling apart. At least not to me, but what the narrative would have been. Bo Bichette's not made for New York. This was a terrible signing. I can't believe we didn't re-sign Pete Alonso. It is imperative that this 2026 Mets team gets off to a good start. And I'm not even asking for them to go 21 games over 500 the way they started 2025, but just to keep the part of this fan base off of the ledge, to show them like, okay, there is a life after Pete Alonso. There is life after Brandon Nimmo and after Edwin Diaz moving on in their careers. There is still a way for the Mets to have a winning baseball team. So I think it really is crucial for the Mets to get off to a good start. And so far they have. Again, only 4 games, but, get to that 10 game above 500 mark. Hover around there if that's what it takes for a little. Eventually, hopefully, you're going to be a, 90, 92, 3-win team. But right now, I just want to see them go out, play good baseball, and see how the lineup looks, the new look lineup, of course, how the relievers look, the new guys in the back end of the pen, get a good start from Freddie Peralta, that kind of thing. See Senga hopefully bounce back. So those are kind of the things that I am most focused on. Joe Saturn, Lovelady DFA watch. I don't think it's coming quite yet. I don't think Dickie Lovelady's job is done quite yet. I think they're going to keep him until he truly has a blow up, or they decide we need another arm. He's not available today. We're going to DFA him. We're going to bring up so-and-so. I think that's the only way that Dickie Lovelady is actually going to get DFA'd by the Mets anytime soon. They are going to ride with him. I mean, look, I don't know if you guys recall, I mentioned it a few times in the offseason, or if you maybe read the article yourself, but Will Salmon of The Athletic said that people internally within the Mets front office thought that they didn't do a good enough job last year building a bullpen with optionable arms. And I know nobody wants to hear optionable arms. We want to hear all the top relief pitchers possible to fill out a bullpen. But at the end of the day, there's going to be injuries. There's going to be guys that are just unavailable, like in the case of yesterday, because you don't want to go back to back with guys and get them hurt in March and April. So that is what Richard Lovelady is here for. And really, I sound crude to say it, but I'll just say it. He's essentially the sacrificial lamb of this bullpen, for better or worse, whether the Mets have a big lead, whether they have a, really big deficit. Richard Lovelady is here to eat innings, here to soak up innings so that other more important guys don't have to get pushed beyond their limit and potentially get injured. So I think Richard Lovelady is going to be here for a little while, Joe. Ray says, Bo trying ASAP to get out of the funk today was nails. Yeah, he took that hack. He, hit that ball kind of hard to second. They had the infield in. He did his job putting the ball in play. Nice to see him get the opposite field RBI knock after that. I think that was in the 5th inning to give the Mets the lead. And then again, you know what? He ends up flying out to right field for his, that was in the 6th inning with the bases loaded for the final out of that one. And he smoked that ball. I mean, he hit that ball right on the screws. It just happened to be right at Jordan Walker, who kind of made a nice little sliding catch on it as well. So you can make the case this was the best that we have seen Bo Bichette swing the bat so far in the first 4 games of this year, and potentially got robbed there of another couple of RBIs if Jordan Walker, that's his name, Walker, wasn't able to make that sliding catch there. So happy to see that without a doubt. Let's see, Ray, Caps, and Danny, I love it. Danny, did I see Lovelady jersey on eBay? I've seen guys wearing Dickie Lovelady jersey, so that is not so far out of the realm of possibility. They are out there. It is bizarre, but yes, some people actually own Richard Lovelady jerseys. I mean, the last name in itself is just kind of like worth like having it as a jersey, right? I mean, like, how could you not? All right, I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. Unfortunately, you got to look at this horrible frozen image of me. For whatever reason, the program here is giving me some really tough times, and it's fixed. Now you get to look at my even worse looking face while I'm talking to y'all. So here we are. Look, it was, again, not like a super impressive day from anybody in the Mets lineup. Lindor starting the game out with the triple. Like I said, first time in his career, he's had back-to-back triples in 2 games throughout his career. Also draws a walk, gets hit by a pitch. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with him. We know that's how he broke his toe out in Los Angeles last year, and it seemed to hamper him the rest of the way. Juan Soto with a base hit and an RBI knock in this one. Drew a bases loaded walk for his RBI and also drew 2 walks. Juan Soto doing what he does, getting on base 3 times in this game. Bo Bichette, just that 1 hit, but it was a RBI knock. Love to see that. Also had the fielder's choice sacrifice RBI. Polanco with 2 hits, Beatty with a hit, Jared Young, the RBI double into the right center field gap. Luis Roberts only at bat in the top of the 9th, grounded out to third base. Marcus Semien, I mean, look, we got to call it how it is. He has not looked good at the plate so far. Definitely not. And I still do believe he's going to be a 20 home run bat for this lineup. I do. When the weather warms up, I hope, and when he gets back into the timing and swing of things, I do believe that Marcus Semien will be a valuable piece of this lineup. But you got to call it how it is. So far, it's not been great. A lot of pop-ups, a lot of strikeouts, 2 more tonight. He goes 0 for 3 in this one. He does draw a walk. I don't know about you guys. What did you think? Because I thought this home plate umpire was garbage. They did not have the strike zone out, but it looked like there were a lot of missed strike calls right down the middle that I felt like they could have challenged. But we know teams are a little cautious and a little conservative with their ABS challenges. You don't want to lose them for a missed first strike call in the 3rd inning, right? But I thought this home plate umpire was not great. I'd love to see his report card. I don't know if they're still doing that now because of, with the ABS system and all that, but I'm going to check on Twitter for that. It was a little strange to me. Jimmy, his name is pretty slick sounding, makes for a nice jersey. Dickie Lovelady. I mean, you can't make that up, right? And by the way, Francisco Alvarez also drawing a walk in this one, got a walk in the 6th inning, and then nice to see him get that double in the 8th inning as well. So nice start so far to the year for Francisco Alvarez. Obviously had the home run on opening day on Thursday as well. So that was great to see. But main takeaways for me, it's got to be the bullpen. I mean, the bullpen was, again, tremendous. Look, this was a 2-1 game. They end up making it 4-1 after their 2 runs in the 6th inning, and then they tried to get 3 more outs out of Clay Holmes. He gives up the bomb of a homer to Nolan Gorman. That makes it 4-2. They go to Tobias Myers, and from there, it just felt like the Cardinals really had no chance. I think just 1 base runner allowed the rest of the way for the Cardinals, or from the Mets bullpen to the Cardinals. Myers gets the pop-up of Walker to end the 6th. Brooks Raley striking out the side, Myers striking out the side in the 7th inning. Then you go to the 8th. It's Raley. He did give up a base hit, so I'm sorry. One base runner. Yes, just one base runner in 3 1/3 innings of work from the Mets bullpen. The combination of Tobias Myers, Brooks Raley, and Devin Williams. I almost called him Edwin Diaz. Oh my God, bad habits. What is it? Old habits die hard. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, that's the story to me, because again, it wasn't a super impressive offensive performance. It was a really good start from Clay Holmes. It's kind of what we expect from him as your number 3, the guy in the middle of the rotation, the glue guy, right? 5 2/3, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 hits, whatever it was, 6 hits. But I think you don't win this game, obviously, if you don't get some really heavy lifting from the Mets bullpen the way that they got tonight. So I am very pleased with it. And I said it in a video today. I said it in the post-game stream last night, actually. That's where I took the video from today. That was my biggest concern entering this year for the Mets. How was the bullpen going to be? Not having Edwin Diaz. Is Devin Williams going to be able to bounce back, return to form from his Milwaukee days? Will Luke Weaver look more like the one that started his tenure with the Yankees rather than the one that ended it, looked borderline unpitchable in the playoffs for them last year? And the same for all the other guys that we weren't sure about who would make the team, who would, potentially be in what roles. So I have been very, very pleased with what we have gotten out of the Mets bullpen. I don't think you can make an argument otherwise against it. So that's been fun. Let's go back to the chat here. Danny Caps, I missed one here. Sharuzi Fashion, yeah, had this ump. This ump had the tightest strike zone. It was a weird strike zone, man. I don't know. I mean, it looked like there were 3 pitches right down the middle that he called balls, and I was like, what? I mean, I will say this: he was fair. It went both ways, so I'm not griping about it. At least he kept it consistent, but it was a weird strike zone for sure. I'm gonna look up that report card at some point tonight, see if it's out. Danny Cass, very surprised Lindor got a triple in back-to-back games. Man, I'm just surprised neither of these balls have gotten out. I thought he hit a leadoff home run to start the night tonight, and then yesterday I thought that was going to be a bomb too. But man, just maybe, I don't know, the conditions. Maybe if he had a hamate bone, I don't know, maybe that would help him get a little bit more juice in that swing. But I was really convinced that both of those balls were homers. But nice to see Lindor swinging the bat a little bit better over these last 2 days for sure. Deed Buzz says, Beatty looking pretty hitterish this year so far. Needs to do the Soto thing and spit on more first pitches. Beatty does have a tendency to either take a fastball right down the middle or swing at a first pitch slider or curveball at his feet. He does like to swing at those first pitch breaking balls. That is definitely a bad habit I'd like to see him break. That being said, he continues to put up good numbers. He continues to get basically a hit a day, it seems like. I'm not even sure if he's taken an O for so far in these first 4 games. So love that from him. But yeah, overall, look, Beatty has really turned his career around going back to almost a year ago now. I would say probably July is when he truly turned it on. But after that first demotion down to AAA, getting the call back up after the injury to Jesse Winker last year, Beatty has really started to come into his own and started to live up to that top prospect pedigree that he once had. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. I'm Tony Metro. You know the deal. Daily Mets content. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. We do everything here. Rumors, post-game recaps, talk about it all. Be sure to leave this video a like. Go share this with a friend. Go share this with a family member in your life that loves baseball and loves the Mets. This is your place for all of that. Let's see, who else do we got here? Ray and Danny. Appreciate you guys being in here. Look, let's go listen to some sound. Let's see what anybody had to say about this game. I think that Bichette is probably somebody that is going to be speaking to the media after this one. So let's see if Bichette has anything to say, and then we'll listen to the manager, Mendoza. Not a lot of tough questions to ask after a nice win like this tonight, right? But let's see who did talk. SMY, we got too much Islander stuff here. Carlos Mendoza says the bullpen is... Oh, there you go, Carlos. Yeah, I tend to agree with what Mendoza had to say. Here's what Carlos said about his relief corps so far early in the year.
What have you thought of the bullpen so far?
They've done a really good job. When you're looking at out of the gate, we're playing 2 extra inning games.
And there's no sound on that right now, right? Yeah, let me fix that for you guys. Yeah, I don't think there's any sound on that right now. So I'll fix that. And oh, wait, no, there was sound, wasn't there? Hold on. Let's see.
We asked a lot of few of them out of necessity. But again, just continue to do a really good job. When you're looking at out of the gate, we're playing 2 extra inning games. They had to cover a lot of innings, and they kept us in the game so far. We asked a lot of few of them out of necessity, but again, just continue to keep in mind the big picture here and continue to protect guys when.
Oh man, sorry, Joe. Is that really true? Did they really remove the strike zones from the MLB broadcast? Because that is insane if they did. I mean, that is nutty. That is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I guess the only reasoning would be they don't want their umpires being embarrassed and then have fans continue to scream for it to just be a fully automated strike system. But I didn't hear about that, Joe. Is that really true? That is insane, man. I guess I'm gonna have to look up that article and see if I can find anything on that. But I did not hear that the Major League Baseball had the automatic or the strike boxes removed from TV broadcasts. I kind of like having them, but okay. I mean, I guess that's how it's gonna be. Ray says still pissed at Mendy justifying the boneheaded move, standing Lindor yesterday. Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Ray, like, what are you going to do? You're going to call out Leiper, your third base coach, say, yeah, it was a bad decision. He sucks. Stupid choice. Like, you just got to say you're okay with it. But I am sure that there was an internal conversation between him and Tim Leiper, the Mets third base coach. I am sure that they had a private talk like, hey, come on, man, you got to know the situation there. And I know Leiper did know the situation, but you got to be a little more conservative in that kind of a spot and not send Lindor as the potential tying run with your 2, 3, 4 hitters up down by just 1. So I am sure that was talked about, but publicly, he's not going to throw his third base coach under the bus, right? Bo Bichette, let's hear what he had to say about his at-bats this evening.
Obviously, normally, is that the case for you? Is it just sort of what you expect to be doing all the time?
Well, I mean, yeah, as a competitor, I expect to be in a good place all the time. But, I mean, I don't know if that's a sign of anything. Honestly, I just want to be in a position to compete every at-bat, and I felt like I did a better job of that today.
Ball's hard the other way. I mean, a lot of guys will say that's when it's going well for them. That's such a huge part of your game, obviously, normally. Is that the case for you? Is it just sort of what
Is that better? Oh my God, guys, this is brutal. I am having such as soon as OBS updates and all the buttons that I normally need to press are moved around, and this is the kind of stream we're having, guys, I apologize. I said it yesterday. I thought that after you got the bad performance from Bo Bichette and the rough opening homestand, for him to say what he said of, I would have booed myself earlier. I don't know what took so long for Mets fans. I thought this guy gets it. This guy could really be good here. I'm not saying he's going to be, but he's got thick skin. He understands. He gets it. We heard his dad, Dante, say a couple weeks ago, this was the big stage he always wanted. You know, obviously, maybe not that much because he didn't make a long-term commitment to the Mets, but that he wants to play on a big stage and he is built for it. So I believe it's going to come through. I think we are going to get the Bichette that we were hoping for when we got him this winter. But yeah, no, I'm happy to see that he was able to come through and actually have some positive results to show for it now here this evening. Yeah, no, Ray, that's not even an opinion or a take by me. That's what Joe says, that MLB has removed the strike zone box. I don't know. That's what Joe says. It could be true. I don't know. Joe might just be pulling my leg, but I could kind of believe it. Jimmy James says, yes, the Mets announcers brought it up a couple times already about them not having strike zone on their feet. I didn't hear that. Okay, thank you for bringing that up, Jimmy. All right, so there it is. No more strike zone box on the feeds on the game broadcast. I was scoring my game the whole day, so I wasn't listening to Gary and Keith as intently as I normally do, but that's okay. Fine with me, I guess. Like, I kind of like the box, but it's not going to hurt either to not have it anymore. But this is like an MLB mandate kind of thing, I'm thinking, because they don't want their umpires being ridiculed and embarrassed, I guess, is the only thing I could think of for why they would get rid of that box, because it's accurate. It's almost always accurate based on the challenges that we have seen so far, right? So whatever, it is what it is. But see if there's anything else worth listening to here before we preview tomorrow's game. Mendoza talking about the Mets roster. I don't really want to get into that. We saw Jared Young play today. We saw them move defensive positions all around the diamond. Beatty starting the game in right field, finishing the game at first base. So that made for kind of an interesting little wrinkle in this. Nice to see Beatty doing that. Look, as long as this guy hits, he's going to continue to get to go out there. And so far, that is what he's been doing. Bo Bichette at third base, I thought he looked okay. Not great. That one ball where he ended up charging and backhanding again. Look, he probably should have barehanded that one, but overall, I think he's going to start to look a little more comfortable. It didn't look as shaky today, but definitely does not look like a true third baseman yet. It's going to take time, and that time may never come, but I'm also not going to judge him just on 4 games. Made a nice running throw today on one of those plays. I have it in those highlights I was showing before. So overall, I thought a very positive day for Bo Bichette, and for any of those big negative Nelly Met fans out there that want to act like this was a terrible signing after just one homestand. Let's see. Eureka Flavor, what's up, man? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Oh, man, the echo's back. All right, let me get rid of that. Maybe it's better now. How's this sound now, Ray? Thank you for letting me know. Tony, your echo will be great for a wrestling match. I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was an echo. Like I said, we have a whole new setup here now for what's it called? OBS, and it's really messing with us. So hopefully we'll have everything worked out by tomorrow and things will sound all better. But hopefully this does sound good to you now. Nuyorican, strong echo from your audio. Thank you for letting me know, man. I appreciate it. This echo is like the Lou Gehrig luckiest today. I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of earth. Is that what he said? To ever walk the... I don't know. Something like that, right? Thank you, guys. I see what the problem was immediately now. I should have looked down at my freaking my mixer down here, but not my best stream, guys. I apologize. Like I said, the update to OBS right before we came on live really threw me for a loop here, but we'll all be good tomorrow and back in the saddle. But tomorrow, we get to see our first look at Kodai Senga. First time back since the Mets demoted him to AAA last year for the minor league assignment that he accepted. He looked really good this spring. He had really, really solid numbers in spring, and the velocity in the high 90s, had the ghost forking, even threw an ephus in one of those minor or spring training starts this year. So hopefully we're going to get some good version of Kodai Senga. I don't want to put numbers on it. I don't want to say it's got to be, the first, half Kodai Senga from 2025. Just go out there, give us a number 3 type of performance, for a couple of weeks here. If he ends up pitching any better than that, then wow, the Mets are going to be in a good spot with their starting rotation. So hopefully that will be the case. Nuyorican, glad you remembered me. Of course, and of course, bro, you're an OG. Ray says, nice job. Thanks, man. I don't feel like it was that great. Saying it might be a dark horse, he says. Nuyorican, glad to see you're back, man. I always been here, bro. No breaks. I mean, obviously not as many live streams during the winter, but we did a lot. Not, daily, but we did quite a few, especially around big signings. And when we were hearing big rumors, like with Kyle Tucker, and other guys like that. Jimmy, thank you for the super chat, $4.99. I appreciate you so much, Jimmy. LFGM, dude, thank you very much for sending that over. Like I said, Mookie's Bone Fund just keeps piling up with this super chat, so I appreciate y'all very, very much for that. Caps, Polanco will not sail the throw. Yeah, I don't know. Saying is great until he gets hurt, so let's hope he avoids that. Yeah, hopefully Polanco is not throwing it over anybody's head on the feeds to first, or whoever ends up being there. I mean, Polanco's got this Achilles issue, so I would guess it's probably going to be Brett Beatty at first base tomorrow, and they let Polanco continue to DH, but that's just me. I'm a guessing man here. So Kodai Senga takes the hill, and we will be taking on Andre Palante for the Cardinals. I got to say, I saw this picture earlier. If I'm Andre Palante, I'm talking to MLB.com, and I'm saying, really? This is the picture? This is the picture right here that you chose to make my banner for my player profile? Really? This is the best one that you could find? It's not a great looking picture for Andre Palante, but Tony, you sound like Bob Shepard. Not anymore, right? I did, right? Before when I had the echo, right? Hopefully it sounds all good now over there. But Andre Palante, picture aside, right-hander, he's 27 years old. Last year career 4.32 ERA. Last year with the Cardinals had a 5.31 earned run average over 31 starts. So he's made 61 career starts. I mean, he debuted back in 2022, so he's no really spring chicken, but I guess he came up pretty early to be 27 years old and now starting his 5th season of big league ball. But obviously did not go very well for him last year with that nearly 5.5 ERA over 162 and 2/3 innings. I mean, gave up more hits than innings pitched. Walked, 62 batters as opposed to 111 strikeouts. Opposing batting average of 270. So look, Andre Palante got walloped last year. So I would really like to see the Mets take advantage of this dude and go put up a 9 spot on the Cardinals tomorrow. I'd like to see this lineup kind of get out of this little bit of a malaise that they have been in over these last 3 games. Two Cats, what is up, Two Cats? Good to have you here, man. Long time no see. You and Nuyorican Flavor, 2 of my favorites. I mean, you're all my favorites, but 2 guys that have always been here, along with Ray, along with Danny Caps, along with who else? Joe Saturn, of course. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all being in here, being loyal, and following along. Jimmy James C, of course, as well. I know we had someone, Biscuits Chooch was in here earlier, and Enrique Garcia. All you guys have been awesome and continue to follow along. Ray says, Andre looks like he wished he had a pair of Depends for the dump. It's not a good picture, man. I mean, even the way his arms, it's not a very athletic looking picture. That's all I'm saying. I would be on the phone with MLB headquarters trying to get that taken care of if I'm Andre Palante. 2 Cats solid W today. Can't complain about a 3-1 start. Bichette with 2 hits or 2 RBIs to help lead the team to victory tonight. Hey, much love to you, 2 Cats. Yes, sir. Gangs all here. But not for long, because we are going to wrap this up. As you can see, I am trying to figure out why every time I switch from that to this, I need to reconnect the camera so you don't get that frozen still photo of me from the last time I switched to sharing my screen. Anyway, we'll have it all sorted out by tomorrow, but a nice tidy 4-2 win for the Mets today as the bullpen does some heavy lifting. You get a nice season debut from Clay Holmes. The Mets offense does just enough. Bo Bichette chips in a little bit as well. Very nice to see and start this long road trip with a W. Guys, leave this video a like if you have not already. Go ahead and do that now. Subscribe and go share this video with a Mets fan in your life, with a baseball fan in your life. That's how we continue to grow the family here. So big shouts to all y'all for being here. 2 Cats and Ray and Joe Saturn and Jimmy James C. Thank you again for the $4.99 super chat. Nuyorican Flavor for sure. Appreciate you, my guy. Danny Caps and OG as well. Didi Buzz. Sharu Fashion, y'all are the best. I can't do it without you guys coming and tuning in, leaving comments here, leaving likes on my videos. I really, really appreciate it. But that is going to do it for right now. But we will be right back here tomorrow night after Game 2, Kodai Senga and Andre Palante from Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. You don't want to miss it. Be sure to turn channel notifications on so you know when I post a video and go live. But for right now, that is going to do it. Until next time, I'm Tony Metro. Stay true.